Dr. Susan Trung has been caring for patients as an eye doctor for 20 plus years. She literally helps people to see 20/20. So she knows a thing or two about sight and vision. Sight is a function of your eyes, while vision is a function of your heart. In August 2014, when she lost a younger brother to cancer only 9 days after his diagnosis, she pivoted. Today, as a visionary strategist, she is passionate about inspiring all of you to live beyond 20/20 vision. Don't just merely exist. Wake up and truly live, right here and right now. And now, your host, Dr. Susan Trung.
Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Susan Trung at Beyond 20/20 Vision. I am so glad you are here to watch or listen in today. Today, it's episode number 7. I am titling it, Are You Eating to Live or to Die? Let's think about that. Are you eating to live or to die? It's very interesting because when I'm with patients in the office and I'm going over their medical history, giving them some health and wellness, nutrition, counseling, coaching, and I get in their face and I ask them, are you eating to live or to die? And they're just looking at me like I have 3 heads. And they're like, wow, I never thought of it like that. That's a pretty harsh question. But let's spend some time elaborating on that a little bit here. I'm asking you that, I'm posing that question because I want you to think about your eating habits and overall health. With us, where are we now? We're 4 months easily heading into the 5th month of coronavirus, lockdown, quarantine. This is the time. If this is not the best time, I have no idea when to think about your overall health. Because to beat this coronavirus, come on, let's get real. To beat any, God forbid, any diseases or any ailments that's thrown at us, we got to keep our health and our immune system top notch, top level, 100% on par. Many of us, we try. Today, I'm going to give you some tips to make it easier. Because oftentimes I hear, trying to eat healthy, trying to make better choices, and trying to lose weight. That's so hard and it's expensive. It doesn't have to be. I'm going to give you some tips to make it easier today. First, number 1 tip. Don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. I've been guilty of it. Come on. You know what it's like when we're going to the store and we're hungry, right? Okay, you try to stick to your shopping list, to your grocery list there, but because your stomach is grumbling, you're picking up whatever else, things that you didn't write down on your shopping list. So don't go shopping hungry. Go with a full stomach. Just trust me on that. I know many of you understand what I'm talking about out there, okay? Let's walk into the grocery store together. I want you to visualize this. I want you to picture this. When you walk into the grocery store, first thing you'll see is, depending on how they're set up in the front door and all that, you'll either run into the middle of the store or you run over to the door opens up closer to the produce section. Here's an easy tip. When you're shopping to make better and healthier choices, you want to shop the peripheral of the store. When I'm talking about the peripheral store, I want you to picture this. I want you to visualize this. I want you to think about this the next time you walk into a grocery store. The peripheral is the outer, right? The outer walls, the outer setting. So what's on the outside versus the aisles in the middle? You have the produce. You've got your fresh fruits, veggies, and as you continue toward the back of the store, the peripheral, you'll have your meats, your chicken, beef, pork, whatnot. And then you have your dairy products. Okay, so that's the peripheral. When you shop the peripheral, those items tend to be better and healthier for you. So just remember that. Shop more of the peripheral and shop less on the aisles that's in the middle of the store. Why is it better and healthier for you? Here's some other tips. Let's think about it. Oftentimes the items out in the peripheral, there's refrigeration, right? It's either kept cold or it's kept colder or frozen. Okay, again, think about that. Your produce, your meats, your dairy products. And the items in the aisles, they are not as healthy for us. They are really yummy, such as the packaged items, but they're not as healthy because think about it. They're in the middle of the stores. They don't need refrigerations. So not as great for us. They're processed and man-made. More tips. The faster, let's say you have 2 items on your kitchen counter, some fresh fruits and vegetables and a bag of potato chips. Let's just use that as an example. Remember this, the faster the items would spoil sitting out on the counter, the better for you. This is why the things out in the peripheral, they're better and healthier and they're refrigerated. I mean, how long is it going to take before that bag of potato chips spoiled? A heck of a long time, if ever. So remember, don't go when you're hungry. Don't shop when you're hungry. Shop the peripheral. The faster the food spoil, the better for you. Some more tips. Get in the habit of reading labels. All of this I'm sharing with you now, I share with patients because it's just people say, oh, it's too complicated, it's too hard, I can't remember what's what. No, I'm giving you tips to make it easier, okay? So get in the habit of reading labels. Here's how you're going to determine which is better and healthier for you. If an average 8-year-old child can read, can pronounce those words on the labels, they're better for you. I'm going to repeat that. If an average 8-year-old child can read and pronounce the ingredients on the labels, they're better for you. Why? Because when the items are made of more organic and more natural ingredients, they're shorter words, right? The berries or milk or peanut or veggies, versus if it's man-made, processed, and refined, they're longer words because oftentimes they're almost like made of chemicals, big long names, methyl cellulose, whatever. Those are some examples. So just look at the labels. Get in the habit of reading the ingredients. Remember, if it's easier, if an 8-year-old child can read it, it's better for you. If they're having a hard time pronouncing those big, long chemical words and all, then not so great. Another tip, going back to reading labels. You gotta make note of the sodium level, the sugar level, the carbs level. I know you've heard this before. Keep your sodium, which is your salt level, keep it down to a low. You want to go low sodium. Sugar, keep that low too. And carbs, we're going to talk in a little bit. There's good carbs and bad carbs. Okay? So when you're reading those labels on, it'll just say carbohydrates. You want to, not that they're going to distinguish between good carbs and bad carbs for you, but you want to keep that low also. And the reason I say that is when you feel like you have your best health, then your immune system is going to be at its best. And whatever life throws at you, whether it's this heaven forbid, this coronavirus or the flu or some bacterial infection, whatever ailments you may be challenged with, when your health level and your immune system level is up to par, that's your army. You're gonna have a better army to fight whatever is being thrown at you. This is the best time. So many of us have some extra time of being at home because we're furloughed or unemployed or remotely working. This is the best time to concentrate on this, on you. On my last episode, we talked about your self-care. Well, your health is top-notch when it comes to your self-care. You've heard this before. Your health is your wealth. If you don't have your health, then where does that leave you? I hate to say it, you're no good to yourself. What's it going to be? Where are you going to be for your loved ones? Let alone people at the office. So take care of yourself. All right, some other tips. And the reason I have this conversation at least once a day, if not more, with my patients, giving you tips of how to eat better and healthier. Again, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. I just gave you some tips. Okay. And because we find it so hard, it's not hard. We make it hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. You know, oftentimes it's up here. It is your mindset also when it comes to how can I eat better? How can I be healthier? Okay. It is that mindset. It boils down to self-control and self-discipline. And because of the lack of that in our country, let's put this coronavirus aside, we have a really high number of type 2 diabetes. It's an epidemic in our country. And it doesn't have to be. Type 2 is very different from type 1 with the diabetes. Type 2 is very reversible and it's easy to control, but control it well, you can absolutely reverse it to the point where you can get rid of it. And that comes down to your eating habits. Now, let's get into that eating habit. What you eat is important, but how you eat is as important. And I'm going to tell you something. I was not born in this country, but I have been here a long time. My family's been here about 44 years now. And when I go out to eat with my colleagues, my American colleagues, when we're out for a lunch meeting or dinner meeting, it's no matter how long I've been in this country, I am just floored at the speed of how people eat. You eat at many out there eat at such a high speed. Why? I mean, nobody's going to steal your food from you. Studies have indicated that when you eat slower, you chew more thoroughly, you take only, each bite is just enough to fit in your mouth. Not more than that. You're not a squirrel. You're not saving your food for later. You don't need to do that. But just bite size, chew thoroughly, then swallow. Studies have indicated you'll be more slender because digestion starts in your mouth with the enzymes in your saliva. So don't gorge your food. Enjoy it. This is what my friends laugh at me and my patients laugh at me when I tell them this. You got to make love to your food. Let me repeat that. Make love to your food. When you eat so fast, I'll ask my colleagues, so how was it? How did it taste? Oh, good. I don't want just good. I want you to eat slowly and to make love to your food with each bite so that the taste buds, okay, can just get all the different flavor in there. That's what it's all about, to truly enjoy each meal. And by doing so, it'll help you to stay more slender because you're not just inhaling your food. Another easy tip is the best indication of your health is your waistline. You can read all the different studies out there. Again, this doesn't have to be complicated. You want to know, am I in good health? Am I not? What's my health status? Check out the waistline. Here's what I tell patients. Stand naked, strip naked, stand in front of that full-length mirror and take a look at yourself. How is that waistline? Are you happy with what you're seeing there? If you're not, start by changing your eating habits. And I just gave you some tips to make it easier. Eat more plant-based, less meat-based. Believe me, people look at me, patients will look at me and say, oh, well, you're pretty slender. You must not eat a lot. Trust me, I love to eat. I love food. I love all the different cuisines. I just don't eat a lot at one time. I don't eat fast. But there's all these different diets. There's the Atkins diet, and there's the no carb diet, and the low carb, and the protein only diet. There's this diet, no fat diet. Listen to me. I don't believe in diets. Some of you may disagree with me out there, but you know what? That's fine. I'm just telling you, as a healthcare provider, I don't believe in diets because our body is meant to have a little of everything. A little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat, a little bit of sodium, salt, not a lot, okay? A little bit of sugar. But you've heard this before. Everything in moderation. Watch that proportion size. I know I just mentioned to you plant-based, right? The more fruits and veggies, the better for you. Eat less meat. Trust me, I like my meat too. I don't like it a lot, but once in a while, I like a good steak. I love my seafood. Okay, chicken and turkey's better for you. Go skinless and go white meat. But it doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of anything. I love my pizza, my cookies, my cakes, my cheesecake. I love it all. Just don't do it every day. Don't do it every week. I say don't even do it on a monthly basis. You know, for example, I love my steak. If I have it once a quarter, once every 3 months, that's a lot. Same with ice cream. Here's another tip that makes it really easy for you. Don't bring it in the house. If it's not in the house, it's less tempting and it's just easier for you. Just don't bring it in the house. Okay? Now, let's talk about carbs. Let's talk about carbs first. Okay, you hear a lot of, I can't eat carbs. Carbs not good for you. There's a no carb diet. No, just like sugar, which we're going to touch on in a bit, there's good carbs and there's bad carbs. Okay, again, don't make this complicated. So if you want to know, okay, well, what's the good carbs and what's the bad carbs? The good carbs are the veggies, okay, the fruits, the veggies, because they're high in nutrients, they're low in calories, they're high in fiber, they are digested more slowly, which keeps you fuller longer. The bad carbs are what we call the refined, the man-made stuff, the processed stuff. Okay, that is your anything white, such as your white bread, your white pasta, your things made of the white flour, which is our cakes and all those really yummy stuff. White rice, and it's very interesting because many of my colleagues would say, "Listen, white rice is not that great for you," and I'm like, "Okay," but as Asians, hello, look at this girl. She's as Asian as can be. We eat white rice. That's our base, our base food. We eat white rice every day. Is there a lot of? Do you see many obese Asian walking around? Not necessarily, because again, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not giving up my white rice. However, I don't eat a huge serving of them at one sitting. a smaller serving, and it's what I accompany it with. It's veggies. It's a lot of veggies actually, and maybe a little bit of meat because we need that little protein. But here's what's easy to remember. Also, here's another easier tips when it comes to carbs, sugars, what's good, what's bad, what's better for me, what's healthier. If it's man-made, okay, which is the processed food, you've heard that term before. The cookies, those are anything in the middle of the store, on the shelves, on the aisles, not as good for us. If it's from the earth, if God made it, like the fruits and the veggies, better for us, okay? Yes, he made those animals, the meat, the proteins, but unfortunately, when you look at how things are being raised these days, the meat products, the cattle, the pigs, whatnot, the chickens, you really have to ask yourself, what are they pumping it with? Steroids, grow bigger, faster, all those other things. And so they're pumping the animals with that, then we're ingesting it. Also, when it comes to the fruits and veggies, I highly encourage you to buy anything that is labeled organic, better for you, because I love my fruits and veggies. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, what kind of pesticides on it? You try to clean it, wash it as best as you can. I will tell you the better fruits and veggies for you are certainly anything that you can peel. I mean, obviously, if there's any pesticides or whatever that they're using out there on the fields, it'll be on the peel, and we're not too worried about. We're less worried about what's on the inside. Let's get into the sugars. Okay. Earlier, I told you when you're reading your labels, make note of sugar levels, sodium levels, and carbs levels. All those things you want to keep it low. Sugar is not bad for you. Just like with anything, too much of anything, not as good for us. But how to distinguish, again, between good sugar and bad sugar is it natural sugar or is it man-made? Okay. Again, the man-made are the stuff that we would find in the over in the bakery section. The pastries, the cakes, the cheesecakes, the cupcakes, all of that. Those are really yummy. I love those. But just have them once in a blue moon, okay? Just really don't even walk by them. They're less tempting. The better sugars for you are the sugars from the veggies and the fruits. Certainly there's going to be more sugars in the fruits than the veggies, but the natural sugars, they're better for us. However, too much of it in one serving, one seating is not as great for us. When it comes to the fruits, let me give you some example, because I'm just thinking about what I buy and bring into my own household for my own family myself. Is the better fruits for you that don't have such a high sugar levels would be the different berries. That's your blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, strawberries. Those are great. And berries are great because they have antioxidants in them. Okay, so eat lots of berries. The other fruits, such as your bananas, your pineapples, your different citrus fruits, tangerines, oranges, they're a little higher in sugar. The grapes, love those seedless grapes. But again, just don't have so much of them at one time. Okay, just spread them throughout the day, or if not, have them in multiple days or even multiple weeks. So especially with patients who are individuals who are diabetic. I know you're so good at watching your sugar level, but just know, because people think, oh well, this is natural, right? This is fruits. It's better for me, so I can eat 3 bananas at one time. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, because our sugar in our body we call it glucose, right? There's sucrose, galactose, but let's simplify it. Let's talk about the glucose, because many of you may have heard about it, especially patients that are diabetic. Sugar is not bad for us. We need the sugar. We need that glucose, because glucose equals energy. Glucose is what gives us, our sugar level is what gives us energy. Okay, but we don't want to have such a high level at one time in the like the man-made stuff, the processed stuff, or even some of this energy drink. If you read those labels, there's some really crazy high sugar level. And so if you do have it so much sugar like that, you go into it will spike up your sugar level. And you're like, yeah, this is why we don't, we try not to load the kids up before bedtime with all these sugary stuff, right? Because they're like high, they're hyper, they're bouncing off the wall. And energy drinks, they'll do that. I mean, you're just like, yeah, I'm all pumped now. But guess what? As fast as you can, your energy gets up and it goes up, and your glucose levels spike up. You're gonna fall fast too. It's that crash. You may have heard of that term before, that sugar crash. You don't want that extreme yo-yo. You want a nice and steady energy level. That's going to give you better health, okay, and stability throughout the day to get your work done, whether in office, out in the yard, wherever it may be. So just keep it natural. And more water. Forget that the sweetened beverages, the sweet teas, or the fruit juices. I do like some of the fruit juices, but if you are, or even like say the Gatorade drinks like such, there's high sugar on it, but when I am craving like the Gatorade or some fruit juices, I look at the sugar level, but I'm diluting it with water. Oftentimes I'll go half water and half Gatorade, or half of the fruit juice, depending on the sugar level. I can tell you right now, I'm pretty anal and particular and OCD about reading the labels, but the higher the sugar level, I'm going to dilute it even more. Okay, it may be 3/4 water and 1/4 of the fruit juice or the Gatorade, just to give it, that way it can give your water a little flavor. I have some patients will tell me, I don't like water. I hate water. I'm thinking, oh my God, how can you hate water? But they said, it's just, there's no taste. I said, fine, just add a little something like that, your fruit juice or a little bit of Gatorade or drinks of such, to give it a little bit of flavor. And I'm going to tell you something. Do not hate water. Learn to love water, because we are made up of a lot of water, mostly water. It's good not only for our internal, but our external, our skin, our nails, our hair. Because great health starts with the inside. You've heard this term before. Okay, you are what you eat. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay, and I want you to think of this body, this amazing machinery, this temple that you've been given. You only get one. So baby it, take care of it. Because I see so many individuals, and I want you to make note of this after you're hearing me today. I want you to look around. So many people out there, they baby their cell phone better than they baby their body, this amazing machinery. Okay? You know how great many of you take care of your cell phone, you're careful with it, you don't want it to fall off and break and all. Okay, I want you to give as much energy that you give to your cell phone, to your body, to your temple, to your health. And when you're going to hear me in your head. Every time you're about to put something in your mouth, something to eat or something to drink, you're going to hear me in your head, because you're going to ask yourself, am I eating and drinking to live or to die? It's really simple, people. Okay? Like I said, it sounds tough, it sounds harsh, but if you keep that in mind with anytime you're about to insert something in your mouth there, then it's gonna help you to make better choices, because it is very true. Believe me, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about donuts. Okay, I don't know about you out there, but I love Krispy Kreme donuts, especially their glazed donuts when it comes out hot and fresh. And yeah, it is so good. It must be almost dinner time or something because I'm thinking about this and I'm going hungry here. But however, it's interesting because my husband and I, we kind of do, we have this little survey that we do here between, say, the Dunkin' Donuts and the Krispy Kreme donuts. Is I like the hot glazed Krispy Kreme donuts because they seem lighter, they seem not as doughy, and they're airy. Again, I love them, but I'm not going to eat them all the time. If I eat my hot, fresh, glazed Krispy Kreme donuts once a quarter, that is a lot. Okay, so just if you're gonna have some pastry or some goodies and all, choose the lighter type of dessert, right? Not something so heavy, because you know that when you eat something good, something you know that's better and healthier for you, like your salads, your fruits, your veggies, anything of such, and anything that's lighter, you're gonna feel better. And if we eat anything heavy, like cheesecake, I love cheesecake, but when we eat anything like such a heavy meal or a lot at one time, when you're done eating that heavy, very rich meal, how do you feel? I'll tell you, oftentimes I feel like crap. And I'll tell my husband, why did I do that? I'm craving it, I'm eating it, but when I'm done, I just feel like, ugh. So keep it light. Drink lots of water. And I hope some of these tips really help you today. So let's review. Don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Go with a full stomach. Shop the peripheral. Do less in the middle of the aisles. The faster the food spoils sitting on the counter, the better for you. Reading the labels, if an average 8-year-old kid can pronounce all those different, can read all those different ingredients there, and they can easily read it and pronounce it, it's better for you because the natural stuff has shorter words versus the man-made with long words that seems chemical-like. Okay. What else? Between carbs and sugars, it's just not carbs and sugars, but more so that is, if God made it, it's better for you. If it's processed and man made it, not as good for you. So eat it only once in a blue moon. I don't want you to feel deprived. You don't have to be deprived. Sometimes people will say, oh, I can never have my desserts again or my chocolate and all that. Yes, you can. Again, when we talk about proportion and moderation, it's true. And touching on the chocolate, if you're craving chocolate, you want to go dark chocolate. The darker, the better, the healthier for you. Because studies out there have indicated that the darker chocolate has some antioxidants on them, and they're good for your heart. Now, again, don't eat a whole pound of them at one time. Just eat a little piece. Just a little square, something quarter size, just to quench that craving. Some will say, well, the darker it is, it's bitter. It may be slightly, but trust me, it's better for you. So if and when I'm buying chocolate now, so we can have a little something in the house, I go for the dark chocolate. Okay. Another thing when it comes to in wrapping up here, in your health, when it comes to working to changing your habits to having better health and boosting your health and boosting your immune system, is exercising your body. Keep your body in motion. I know for many of us that have a desk job where it's many hours of sitting, but you don't have to sit all the time. You have options. Some of you have the options of standing or a desk that you can stand up, you can move up and down. So the more you stand, the better. But if you got to be at a computer all day, about once an hour, once every 2 hours, walk away from it. Okay, keep your body in motion, keep your mind, your brain, those brain cells in motion. Because when you are constantly in motion, not emotional, but in motion, in movement, it's better and healthier for you. Because we all know the more sedentary the lifestyle, not so great for us. The more weight we put on, the more weight we're going to gain. So keep moving. Many of us these days, we have this, our Apple Watch or the Fitbit that keeps track of how many steps we're taking. It's recommended 10,000 steps a day. Great. If you can get 10,000 a day, great. But a little less, great. But just doesn't matter. Just keep moving. Don't sit all the time. Okay. What else? I think that is pretty much most of the tips for today. I hope it helps. Again, ask yourself before you put something in your mouth, to eat or you drink. Am I eating and drinking to live or to die? Sounds tough, but love yourself enough to have that tough love. As always, this is Dr. Susan Trung, inspiring you to live beyond 2020, because 2020 vision doesn't mean perfect. Perfect doesn't stop there. You define your perfect. I'll see you next time. Take care. Choose healthy. Bye.